Hello, everybody. It's Deltlead, and welcome back to another Kerbal Space Program Faster Than Light live stream. We, in the last live stream, built a orbital spaceship. It's in the thumbnail, and it's pretty sick. But we've got some issues that we need to resolve with it, maybe some tweaks. I spent some time thinking about it yesterday and today, and I think I know what needs to be changed. But before I try to get into that, we need some money. So we still have 300,000, which is good. 300,000 is good. I don't know if it's going to be like really enough though. I don't know if that's really going to be enough. And there's a contract here that is tempting me because I already wanted to do something like this. Part of my idea, part of the concept behind this ship that we built in the last live stream was that we would launch it and then we would never return it back to orbit. We would keep reusing it and we would refuel it in orbit by building some sort of refueling station around Minmus. And then I open up mission control and I look over the available contracts, and wouldn't you know it, there's a contract to do some mining on Minmus. And the pay is pretty good. I mean, it's going to pay out 170,000 total, which is really not too bad. And, well, gosh, isn't that just lining up perfectly? So, then there's another contract. There's another contract to bring an asteroid into orbit around Minmus and do some more work, refining resources in orbit. So these two contracts right here, they really synchronize with strategic objectives for the Kerbal Space Program. I'm going to throw some corporate lingo in there. So we're going to accept them because I like money, and I want to do this. See, that's the thing is when the game gives me a contract that I want to do and need the money, well then that's what you got to do right there. So let's design our Minmus miner. We'll do that one first because I think that one will be the easier one? Question mark? Easier one might not be the right term. It'll be the one that I can do, and we can just launch it and do it. That might be the better term. So, how are we going to do this? Well, for starters, we're going to need a probe body. I'm going to go with the Octo 2 because it gives... I think this one is still the most advanced. Well, no, there's the remote guidance unit. Excuse me. I guess the remote guidance unit... Well, we could do the remote guidance unit. It's more expensive, but you know what? Screw it. We'll go for the more expensive one. It gives me all the features that I could need, and that's worth it, in and of itself. It has reaction control wheels on board, but I don't know. I think we'll leave that off, and then depending on how big this design gets, we may add more reaction wheels later. But overall design for this thing, it's going to need a lot of juice. That might be too much juice. Maybe just a couple of these. Because these carry 1,000 each. This carries 4,000. Maybe we do need a lot of juice. Because this is 1 point... I think this is... How big is this? Is this 2.5 meters or 1 point? 1.875. That's 2.5. Okay. I'm thinking about how I want to do this. So, I think the refinery portion of our, refueling station probably should stay in orbit, and then this shuttle just brings loads of ore or whatever, resource, ore, ice, rock, whatever, brings it up to this big orbital refinery. That's the idea. So, is it in utility? Where is it? Here's the stock one, the stock not electrolyzer, but the ISRU units. And I'm trying to remember where these things are. so that I can grab them. Oh, here we go. So there's small holding tank, radial holding tank. How big is the small holding tank? Is it... It's not very big. How much does this hold? 300. Okay, here's an idea. What if we do something like this? I don't want to make this rocket super wide. I'm down to make it kind of long, though. We put a fuel tank here. And then we put a fuel tank here. Maybe we use the slightly shorter version of this. Hold on. We're going to experiment a little bit. That's too short. Maybe that. And then let's just throw an engine on it for scale. I want a good efficient engine that's going to give me a good thrust weight ratio on min-miss. 19.4 is a good thrust weight ratio. Yeah. That's a thrust weight ratio right there. Okay. And then let's get our small holding tank. Let's just slap a bunch of them on there. Yeah? Oh, actually, that works right. That's perfect right there. That's perfect right there. Hold on. Let's swap the order we do this in. Go back. There we go. Like that. Maybe. Maybe like that. So that gives us 3,000 meters per second of delta V. Empty. Less when full. So maybe 8 is too many. Each of these carries 3. So that's 2,400 units of ore. Let's try 6. That gives me 1,200 meters per second and 1,800 units of ore. I think that's workable. I don't need this much delta V to get off the surface of min-miss, obviously. Obviously, we don't need that much delta V, but I do want a decent amount. You know, I do want a good chunk of delta V to work with. And, you know, that's pretty good. And we also have all this other flight hardware that needs to go on. We need monopropellant. I don't think I need that much monopropellant. I definitely don't need that much monopropellant. But I need some monopropellant tanks, obviously. And I want 4 times radial symmetry. There we go. We're going to need the lander legs, obviously. And we're going to need the drill. And we're just going to see what that gets us. I could probably get away with the... I might be able to get away with these. It's a long engine bell. I love the cheetah, and I don't want to give up the cheetah. Because it's so good. It's so good, guys. The cheetah is so good. But it is a long boy. We could switch to the poodle. Hold on. Quick comparison. 350, 355. Okay. Switching to the poodle's worth it. The switching to the poodle's worth it purely for engine clearance considerations. Also, it's got more power. But as this thing gets heavy, and I'm analyzing this lander, assuming it has a full load of ore. Excuse me. I'm operating under the assumption that I am completely full on resources already. Because I want to make sure that this lander can perform in worst case scenario, which is fully loaded. And then we can analyze for when this is empty and super lightweight. Because when these are empty, this thing has, 3 times the delta V. So it doesn't matter. Let's go utility. I think that's where the drills are. So these are the stock drills. But I think... the universal drill is the one we want. Because it's universal. And it's probably super freaking heavy. Yeah, it's pretty heavy. That throws my weight. So I don't need two per se. I do not need two of these. However, just looking at center of mass, right? So center of mass, obviously it's lined up because it's symmetrical. If I put this, that doesn't actually. That might be. I might be able to compensate for that. That's a lot of weight that we're displacing, basically. You know, we're moving this weight way off to the side. But it's still kind of mostly lined up. We might be able to put something over here to compensate for it. And it's better than having two. And then let's just make sure that the drill will actually get all the way down there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that'll get down there. Sweet. Okay, so the drill looks good. Let's retract. Oh, here we go. Here's all the ISRUs. Now, will it... Here's like the one thing I want to test before we buy it, build it, is what is this going to scoop up on the surface? And then do I need like the regular mining excavator? And are these ore tanks going to work? We might need to do a little research on that portion because I'm not 100% sure. In base game Kerbal Space Program, you basically just like land and you take ore, and ore is this like magic substance that converts into whatever fuel you want it to be. So it can be monopropellant, it can be oxidizer, it can be liquid fuel. I don't think it can be solid fuel. Is the only thing you can't. You can't refuel solid rockets in base game Kerbal. Now in the FTL mod I'm using, it's not all like, oh, you just have this one resource and you can convert it to anything. There are specific processors that convert things into different things. It's like this one can be configured to do different things. I guess specifically, this one works with oh, interesting. Hold on. So this ISRU converter basically makes thorium, tetrafluoride, deuterium, lithium, enriched uranium. So uranium tetrafluoride, thorium tetrafluoride, which that's used for nuclear fuels. The electrolyzer takes liquid water and can make it into ammonia, carbon monoxide, and oxygen. It can split heavy water into deuterium and oxygen, and then it can split water into hydrogen and oxygen. The ISRU processor, I think this is for methalox. Spodumene into aluminum and lithiums. Hydrates. So I need this on our refinery station, right? Because this takes hydrates and makes it into liquid water, which is good to know. Man, this stuff's complicated, and then the refrigerator is like the rest. But here's what I don't know is this even the right fuel tank that I'm using up here? Because this will hold ore, and this is the base game, thing. Oh, here we go. Okay, so alumina. So we can change these fuel tanks to have different things. which is interesting. I guess, which also means we could have different like assign these holding tanks different resources, but then I just need to make sure before I actually fly any hardware, we really need to make sure we understand this. Understanding is important, guys. I also don't think we've done any scans of Mimus, so maybe we should do that too. Okay. Oh shoot, where is it? No, it's utility. Yeah, we were in the right spot. So, like, what can this be configured for? It's theoretically anything. So I guess this drill will work, and we can assign these holding tanks different things. So then, is hydrates an option? It's just ore. You know, here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're actually gonna do. I've determined what we're actually gonna do. We're actually just going to try to fill up a hydrogen tank. Ultimately, for this refueling station, more than anything else, obviously we need to mine ore for the contract, but I want to mine whatever I need to mine to make liquid hydrogen in orbit. Like, that is the chief objective of this mission, is to make liquid hydrogen in orbit to refuel our ship. All the other missions we've run have not had orbital refueling as part of its profile. This ship is the first, and so far the only thing we have in flight explicitly designed to orbital refuel. So I'm going to put this liquid hydrogen tank on. And then let's see. Let's go to the utility and get the processor going. And I think I need an electrolyzer. And we're going to... These are full of ore. Good. And we're going to see if I can convert ore into stuff. If the modded ISRU units are compatible with the base game's mining resource, which is ore. And if it is, excellent. Then that simplifies the whole thing. If not, then we're going to have potentially some issues. I'm going to turn cooling off because I just realized this tank is completely full of hydrogen. We need to boil it. So let's boil off the hydrogen. There we go. Okay. Let's deploy the drill. Obviously, I don't even know if this would theoretically work because we're sitting on the launch pad. Man. That didn't help. So we got hydrogen and deuterium processing. Oh, okay. We're learning here. Okay. So this ISRU electrolyzer has 2 tanks and then multiple different modes. So you can each tank looks like there's 4 different tanks maybe. Aluminum, carbon, heavy water, and liquid water. Deuterium. And this one's just deuterium and hydrogen. That's so many options. That just ate all the electric charge. It just completely ate the electric charge. All right, this live stream has devolved into I learn how resource utilization works in this mod. And that's okay. That's okay. Because this is all part of it. It's all part of the process. Everyone who's like, why don't you just do the thing? Man, it's complicated. It's literally rocket science. Give me a second. And I'm trying to learn this from scratch, which is not easy. So, okay, one, I forgot about electricity being a thing. It's a thing. And not wanting to just like beat around the bush and try and like figure out an appropriate electrical setup. We're just going to put a freaking lot of solar panels on this so that I just don't have to think about it. I'm going to play around with this. And then the other thing I want to try is, does the base game resource converter like, is the mod backwards compatible and the base game resource converter can actually do the stuff that I need it to? Because if that's the case, well, that makes it easy. We're going to wait till we have nice sunlight. There we go. Lots of sunlight available to us here. This thing drinks electricity. It's making water from something. Hold on. Actually, stop water electrolysis. Yeah, hold on. Let's let the hydrogen boil off real quick. Boil, darn you. There we go. Okay, all the hydrogen's boiled. So this tank is empty of hydrogen. I don't want to put solid hydrogen in it, that's for sure. Okay. $500,000 seems high. That seems a wee bit much, doesn't it? We have 338 grams of hydrogen from water. But what water? Water where? Where water? Oh, there's water in the processor. Is there water in regolith? And can I configure these to be regolith tanks? I can. So if it's empty, I can switch it. And let's verify regolith is an option. Okay, so this all works. Theoretically, this all works if okay, hold on. So let's just hold on. Wait. I'm onto something. One, we might need to put a nuclear reactor on this thing. I'm just saying, we might need to put a nuclear reactor on this refinery station because holy cow, it gulped 4,000 units of electric charge like it was nothing. It ate that so quick. So quick. I'm starting to think the solar panels may not be an adequate power source for our refinery, but I fear how expensive a nuclear reactor will be to put in orbit. The Kerbals are barely responsible enough to like um to be trusted to just like tie their own shoes. And if you're going to tell me that I need to put a Kerbal up here to operate a nuclear reactor in orbit of Minmus to generate the power required to run the machinery, to run a refinery, oh boy. That might be a bridge too far. Let's time warp until we got some sunlight. And until this is boiled off. We'll give it a day. There we go. That was more than a day. Next morning. Here we go. All right, let's deploy these again. I guess I could have jettisoned tank contents. Was that an option up here? Am I silly? I'm generally a silly person, and you should not take me too seriously because I am a goofer. Real goofer sometimes. All right, we got regolith. Good. Start regolith processing and watch our electric charge go to nil, basically. How quickly are we processing regolith? Well, actually, let me just look at this. Start water electrolysis. How about that? So the hydrogen tank's filling up for sure. Oh, but this is hydrogen gas. Oh, that means I need a refrigerator. Oh my goodness. All right. Hold on. So, okay, so this is how the game works. I'm making hydrogen, and that's great. Hydrogen's great. It's good to have hydrogen. That's important. But that's not what goes in this tank. No, sir. No, sir, it's not. No, what goes in this tank is liquid hydrogen. And I have hydrogen gas. And those are two different things. I mean, they're the same thing, but they're not the same thing. They're different things. Which means I need the ISRU refrigerator, which converts gases into liquids and probably consumes a ton of power. I'm just going to go out on a limb there and guess it consumes a lot of power. So that's got to go on the stack. Now we've got just this giant complicated machine, which ironically is about as big as the Convertitron anyway, where we break down the regolith into base parts, feed it into an electrolyzer, refrigerate the hydrogen, and fill up this liquid hydrogen tank. That's where we're at right now. And I just want to run this test on the ground to verify that the regolith goes into the thing, and the thing makes it into the other thing, and that thing makes it into liquid hydrogen. And that I can use all the parts that I have on my mining lander as I have it set up. So it's not just one machine that consumes a ton of electricity. It's like 3 machines that consume a ton of electricity, and they all have to be run simultaneously to make this work, realistically. So, we got liquid water. We got the electrolyzer. Start water electrolysis. I have no electric charge, but it's electrolyzing, and at a rate of 0.7% of its actual efficiency. Wait. Hold on. I'm confused. The refrigerator is totally different from everything else, apparently, so I'm confused. Ammonia, argon, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, deuterium, fluorine, helium-3, helium-4, hydrogen. Here we go. So it's filling up with hydrogen. Start creating fusion pellets. That's not necessarily what I want to do. So how do I turn this on? Like, what do I do? I'm confused. I have 87 grams of hydrogen. Let's time warp a little bit, shall we? Maybe I just don't have enough hydrogen. Maybe I need more hydrogen. I've got a kilogram of hydrogen, everybody. Woo! We're going to need a nuclear reactor to make this efficient. Otherwise, this is going to just take so long. So long. Can I expel the oxygen? Like, I understand I'm making oxygen. Can I not make oxygen? Can I opt to not do that? Well, it's almost done pulling all the liquid water out of this. Okay, it's done pulling the liquid water out of this, which means this thing is done. So let's start the regolith process. No. Hold on. Stop water electrolysis. You can keep scooping up liquid hydrogen, I guess. But how do I get... This isn't what I want. Whatever I'm clicking on is not what I want. Am I eating regolith? How does this work? Ah! It's consuming electricity. So theoretically it's doing something. But I don't know what that thing it's doing is. I actually don't know what it's doing. It's getting 140 kilowatts of power and it's making nothing. It's just using energy. Insufficient power. Okay. Revert to vehicle assembly. We are going to need a nuclear reactor to make this work, everybody. It's the only way to do it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to call this ISRU test. We're going to save this and we're going to leave. I need a little bit more science. Well, maybe not. How much does the fission power cost? We have some science in the bag. We have 288. It's probably 300. So close. We're so close. We're so close. Let's go to the tracking station real quick. We're so close. We can make that happen. We can make that happen. That's not a big deal. Let's go space stations. Let's go Research Station Omega, which is our little, it's our baby, honestly. It's our sweet little baby. It's been churning out so much research. It's honestly churned out more research for the program than all the other things we've done at this point, with very little science being loaded into it. Let's stop research, transmit science. And this takes a lot of time. 16%. 76%. There we go. 9, 100%. There we go. We did it! All right, we got enough science for the nuclear reactor, which is pretty sick. That's pretty sick, guys. I think it's like a molten salt reactor too, which is also kind of cool. Molten salt reactors use liquid sodium metal as the coolant, which is just hilarious. Right? Yeah, liquid. No, yes, liquid metal. Fission reactor where the primary coolant is a liquid metal instead of the water used in typical terrestrial reactors. Metal coolants remove heat more rapidly, allow for much higher power density, making them attractive situations or size and weight are a premium, like submarines and space vessels. We don't use these on submarines anymore or at all. Contrary to popular belief, drinking the fluids contained does not grant Kerbal superpowers, although they do glow slightly more than usual. The fission reactor includes an integrated thermoelectric generator but cannot be used for thermal propulsion. Generator 2,000 per second. Wow! Now we're talking. Now we're speaking in terms that we can really utilize here. 2,000 electric charge per second compared to whatever stupid small amount the other thing could do. All right, let's open the ISRU test. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? ISRU test. Load. Okay, because this is getting a little silly in scale, here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna get rid of all that. I'm gonna finish this lander real quick. I'm confident that the lander as a concept will work as intended. I believe that it will do the thing that I am setting out for it to do. And I truly mean that. So now what I want to do is, instead of wasting a lot of time and effort trying to make this, like fiddle around with this, I want to waste a lot of time and effort fiddling around with the other thing, the refinery. Because again, before I commit to anything, we're going to make sure that it actually works. That's a lesson that I have learned the hard way too many times in this game to ignore. Probably need a reaction control system. Probably going to need a beefy one too. And then let's just tuck this in real quick. I think we can get these ever so slightly closer to the center of the craft so that they're a little bit more out of the way. Yeah, okay. I'm going to call this the something something. The Minmus Miner. Yeah, we'll call it that. And we'll save that. Now I'm going to go over to the other editor. And I'm going to say, screw all that. Don't save. Pods. Remote control thingamabobber. This is not at all for cost. This is not at all for efficiency. I'm just going to make something big. And I'm going to make it relatively fast. More batteries would be good. Maybe 3. Now, where the heck did that nuclear reactor go that I bought? One would think. Oh, there it is. It's right there. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. That's a reactor right there. It's got enriched uranium. That's great. That's great. Love to see that. Let's go utility. Well, let's go fuel tanks. This is our test bed, right? So the liquid hydrogen tank on the end. Maybe we put that on the other end. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Liquid hydrogen tank. Can't attach anything to the side of that, of course. Because, of course. We got our ore tanks, which I'm going to fill with... what am I filling this with? Regolith? Yeah, Regolith. Then let's get our processors and everything. So pretty sure I need a processor, an electrolyzer. Maybe I should do this in the opposite order. Electrolyzer, no. Refrigerator, electrolyzer, processor. Yes. I think yes. I think probably yes. And then maybe we need another fuel tank for the oxygen. Hello, Green Juno New Origins. Welcome. Does it matter what I put in this? Can I put anything in this? Yes. It's oxygen 18. That's oxygen. What about LOX? Is LOX an option? CO, CO2, argon, ammonia, DNTO, xenon, heavy water, tritium. Nope, maybe not. Guess not. Okay, well, I mean, maybe it's fine. Maybe I don't need an oxygen tank at all. And I'm just tweaking. It's very possible. Let's rotate this. Not that. The landing leg, please, game. Thank you. Okay. Green Juno. Sure, that rolls off the tongue a little smoother. Let's get let's just end cap it with a fuel tank and throw another pair of landing legs on it. And not there. Not there. Lower. Call it good. All right. No, someone... Technically, 8 other people have clicked on the stream. They just haven't stuck it around. Just in and out, you know. You're the first person who's likely to stay. I'll give you that. We are testing some equipment for a fuel refinery. I'm learning how the refinery system in this mod works. And one thing I learned is that we don't have enough electricity, like at all. We don't have electricity, excuse me, nearly enough for what I'm trying to do. So hydrogen, got that set up. Processor, start regolith processing. Okay, it's maintaining electric charge. We have 100% power that we're required to have. So what is it? But what does it do, though? I got this huge, giant, complicated window. But what does it do? Oh, do we need tanks for everything? Is this going to become extremely complicated? Output. Liquid hydrogen. Wait, does it directly output liquid hydrogen? Do I need a refrigerating unit or an electrolyzer? See, this is why we do tests. We do tests on the ground to see what it was that the boys at the R&D lab cooked up. Because, you know, these R&D guys, they just like, hey, we built you these things. And you're like, oh, cool, thanks. You take it from them. They don't actually explain how they work. They're just like, have fun, good luck. So hold on just 1 second. If I have the processor and nothing else, can I... No, I want to see what shoot. Stand by. No, cancel. Launch this again. My brain is running Windows 32 and this game is in Windows 64. It feels like I am simply outclassed. The plane you asked me to fix last stream, the plane I asked you to fix last stream, I fixed it. I never saw the plane. I mean, I remember you talking about it, but I never saw it. Did you post it in the Discord? Hold on. I'm taking a screenshot of this. There we go. So that I can refer to this later when we go back to liquid CO2, liquid methane, liquid nitrogen, water, helium. It's like 7 different things. And I don't want most of them. It's cool, but I don't want most of that stuff. How many tanks am I going to need for this? If I just, hold on. If I just copy and paste, get rid of that. Wait, maybe I don't even need to do all that. Actually, I don't know why I did that. Shoot. Okay, hold on. I'm going to undo the thing I just did because I don't know what I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So now you might be like, what are you doing with a bunch of tiny tanks? But hear me out. So the processor is doing a bunch of things. And maybe I still do want the electrolyzer. It depends on what the processor gives me regolith-wise. Because if the processor gives me like a lot of water and then a lot of other things I don't care about, then whatever. But if the processor gives me what I want, then maybe we just have the processor and nothing else on board. So let's start the regolith process. Toggle the refinery window. So I've got this up. I've got a liquid hydrogen tank, and that's great. But I need a deuterium tank. So let's go to fuel selection. Well, do these tanks not let me configure it? No. Okay, so never mind. That's a bummer. Revert flight. Revert to space plane hangar. KSP2 is 60R. What's the currency in Brazil called? It's not the peso, is it? No. You guys wouldn't use the peso. The peso's Mexico's currency. Okay, so I've got the screenshot on one screen. I've got this on the other. So, liquid hydrogen. Check. That's that tank. Deuterium. Is that even an option? Of course not. Okay, so I just need different tanks. These tanks aren't actually going to work. We have this cryogenic tank, which maybe will work. What's this? This is also liquid hydrogen. That's solid hydrogen. That's crazy. Hydrazine, liquid hexaborate, liquid helium, liquid helium 3, liquid helium, liquid heavy water. So I need a liquid hydrogen tank, check. I need a deuterium tank, a helium 3 tank, a helium tank, a carbon monoxide tank, a liquid CO2 tank, a liquid methane tank, a liquid nitrogen tank, and a water tank. Supposedly for this regolith processing. So that's liquid water. So then I need liquid nitrogen. I swear I saw liquid nitrogen here. Liquid nitrogen. Liquid methane. Hey, there we go. Liquid CO2. Liquid ammonia. Liquid argon. Liquid carbon monoxide. And liquid carbon dioxide. We need both. Okay. Now I need helium, helium-3, and deuterium. Hypothetically. Diatomic metastable. Diatomic metastable helium. Okay. Liquid diborane. Liquid fluorine. Solid fusion pellets. Liquid heavy water. Liquid helium. No. Liquid helium-3. But it only gives me helium and... Well, hold on. Hold on. Maybe I'm going about this all wrong. Because, yes, it gives me liquid nitrogen, liquid methane, liquid CO2, carbon monoxide as a gas. Oh, I might have just had like a little... Oh, I might have had an epiphany. And that also explains what this is. Or why this is the way it is. Okay, so it's hex segment. Oh, wait. We had a hex module. Somewhere. There was a hex module. Score. That's what that does. That's what that's for. And it's passable, which is interesting. Or this one might be. This one's passable, yeah. Oh, that looks way better. That's a lot of tanks. I know. That's why I kept saying. That's why I kept thinking to myself, like, it can't be this complicated. Like, there's no way a refinery would need that many tanks. But with something like this, we just got a little tank. Just a little tank. It suddenly makes a lot more sense. Except it won't let me attach the things. Hold on. Does it just need to be rotated? So, like, if I put this here, yeah. And then I were to say, like, rotate it like that. Would it let me? Yeah. Okay. So, let's go back to the top. Let me get my... No. Screenshot. Here we go. Okay. So, to recap, we needed deuterium, helium-3, and helium. Air, ammonia, argon, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. We needed carbon monoxide. Okay. We needed helium. Let's just do regular. Oh, there's deuterium. Okay. Can I put this anywhere else? Will this attach anywhere else? No. So I need to rotate you over here so that I can put you. No. I need to rotate you. There we go. So that I can put you. There we go. Okay. So that's deuterium. We needed helium. And we needed helium-3. Okay. There we go. That's helium. Now you need to be like upside down there. Yep. Because you're going to go on the bottom. All right. So we have helium. This one's going to be helium-3. We'll put you on, like, just straight up on the bottom. Yeah. You go down there. So we have, to recap, deuterium, carbon monoxide, helium, helium-3, deuterium, carbon monoxide, helium, helium-3. Now it's all the liquids, right? Yes. Everything else should be liquids. So let's put the liquid tank in place. Now this needed... Okay. Liquid CO2. So that's liquid CO2. No, that's deuterium again. Drinking water, clean water, gray water, liquid water. Why do I have deionized clean water and drink and why make the difference? Is the clean water for like the reactors or something? Man, why you gotta be like that? It's H2O. They're the same. All right, so that hold on. This is water. Oh, my goodness. All right, hold on. New idea. I think I might be overcomplicating this. I know what it looks like I'm losing progress here, or like, why am I doing that? But I have a plan, trust me. Okay. We're going to do one hex tube that's just the gas. Because I was starting to get tired of trying to keep track of all of those things. And we're going to do one tube that's just the liquids. And then that way, my brain doesn't have to hurt anymore. Let's toggle the flag on all these. It's cute that it gives me the flag as an option, but it's a little tedious. Okay. It's also tedious that the game doesn't just let you... I don't know, that it cares so much about the angle of parts. And I have to rotate the thing that I'm copying from to get it to cooperate. There we go. Okay. That looks not half bad. Right? That doesn't look bad. Let me go back to my screenshot. There we go. So I should have all the gases I need. Maybe I don't anymore. It's hard to tell. Carbon monoxide. Helium. Helium-3. Carbon monoxide. Deuterium. So this is carbon monoxide. And this is carbon monoxide. And this is carbon monoxide. Maybe we have a... You know, we could throw an extra deuterium tank on there. So that gives us, what, 3? Because we have deuterium. Check. Carbon monoxide. Check. Helium-3. Check. Helium. Check. I think that's it for gases. Just the 4, right? Yeah. I need 4 different types of gases, and I have 6, so one of the gases will have 3 tanks. Yeah, okay, so these top 3 tanks are going to be deuterium tanks, because I kind of like the idea of keeping some deuterium around on hand if we ever do fusion. And then, oh, hey, we've got, you know, deuterium ready to go. So we need liquid hydrogen, That's this tank. I need liquid CO2. That's this tank. I need liquid methane. That's this tank. So hydrogen, CO2, methane, liquid nitrogen. Oh, liquid nitrogen right there. And then just water. Maybe it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go with the gray water. I don't know if there's a difference between the gray water and the clean water. And at this point I'm too scared to ask. Now I understand, and some of you may be shouting this to yourselves if you're watching this live or if you're watching this after the fact. Why don't you just Google it? Shut up. No coward. I'm going to do this the hard way. For no reason. So that is our byproduct storage and also kind of our product storage. Some of it's byproduct, some of it's the product. Liquid hydrogen is one of the outputs I want. And then water, which I can run through an electrolyzer. We'll see how much water it gives us, and then we can decide whether or not we want to use an electrolyzer. The electrolyzer uses a lot of power, though. Because you're literally, for electrolysis, you have a catalyst, and then you just pass current through water, which is a lot of current to break apart the hydrogen-oxygen bond. Say a number from 2 to 6, 4. The number's 4. Okay, so that should be it? Question mark. Now here's the question: can this be a water tank? Oh, LH2O. There we go. Wait, no. That's LH. Oh, I see. Liquid fuel, liquid methane, liquid oxygen, liquid methane, monopropellant, liquid nitrogen, oxidizer, liquid ammonia, liquid argon. So I guess not. Oop, that's the wrong button. There we go. I guess I am, in fact, going to need some sort of tank. Can this tank do it? Now I'm curious. Hydrogen, HTP, kerosene, krypton, neon, methane. And these are all liquid. Nitrogen, oxygen, tritium, water. Okay. Yeah, you can do water. 8,000 units of water. Okay. My brain is hurty and I haven't even launched anything yet. Oh, no. You're making an auto gyro. Oh, very cool. Good luck with that. Is 2 or 4? I said 4. Is 4 the number of blades that you plan on using? Okay. So now I have this resources tab that's ridiculous. It's got so many things. So many things. Wow. Is the nuclear reactor running? Yes. It's also getting hot, so let's try to be quick about this. Start regolith process. Refinery window. I'm silly. Okay. Good news. So maximum storage. It looks like all these have stuff. Hold on, let's pull up the refinery window again. Yeah. That's what I want to see. Okay. Put that up there. Jettison contents. Jettison contents. Jettison contents. Jettison contents. Jettison contents. Jettison contents. Guess what? Jettison contents. Huh? Ah? Jettison contents. Jettison contents. Okay. Jettison contents. Jettison contents. Cool. So, here's what we've got. Here's the situation. Here's the sitch, if you will. I don't have a water tank. So I'm confused. Because I certainly have a water tank. Let's be clear. One of these white tanks is a water tank. One of them. That's gray water. What if, hold on. He3, He4, heavy water, hexaborane, HTP, hydrazine, hydrogen, kerosene, methane, nitrogen, oxygen, tritium, xenon, ammonia, argon, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, deuterium. Drinking water. It was clean water, everybody. That's the one we were missing. Ta-da! It was clean drinking water. Because why would you want dirty water in your fuel? I guess that makes sense, actually. Okay, so I'm a submariner by trade. And a submarine has an electrolyzer. And you need to put deionized water in the electrolyzer. It's kind of like the thing. That's like the thing. So good news, the regolith breaks down into liquid hydrogen right away. And it seems to do it at a relatively fast rate. In fact, quite a fast rate. In fact, some would say a very, very fast rate. Bad news. My nuclear reactor is having power issues? Question mark. Is it because it's cycling power? Can I hold on? Close you. Is it because of waste heat? Hoy! Clocky clock. Have you played this mod before? Do you understand it? And if so, help, please. Help me, please. Please. Because I'm confused. Nope. All right. So here's something we learned. We were playing around with this module yesterday. This hex core. This guy right here. And at the time, I was like, wow, what a funny shape. It's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool shape, and I like it, but I don't really understand what it's for. It turns out there are these little itty-bitty fuel tanks you can put on it. And you might think, well, that's not practical. Why would I need such a small fuel tank? But actually, you need small fuel tanks for all of the byproduct mass from ISRU, in situ resource utilization. What's the problem? Well, don't call it a problem. You know, I don't like the term problem. Don't call it a problem. Call it a unsolved engineering challenge that we're currently working on. That's what it is. It's not a problem. It's an unsolved engineering challenge. The unsolved engineering challenge that we're working on is how to do ISRU. In situ resource utilization. It's tricky. It's complicated. This mod is very, very cool in that it lets you get way more in the weeds on refineries and resource processing. It's also really frustrating because it it lets you get way, way, way more in the weeds. So I am bashing my head at trying to figure out how this works. But we're making progress. So we figured out we need the holding tanks for the input material, which in this case is going to be regolith. And then the processor requires output tanks, which was easy enough to figure out. And it looks like if you break down regolith, the primary output is liquid hydrogen, which is convenient because that's the thing we want, because that's what's going to fuel our spaceship. However, we need these little fuel tanks that are full of stuff, and I forgot to empty them out before, so now I have to jettison their contents. So now I have to go around and jettison all the contents. Jettison all the contents. All that deuterium, that's a lot of deuterium, my guy. Jettison. 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 Anything else? Anything else? I think I got them all. Start regolith processing. Oh, that's right. That's right. Deactivate process. So I need whatever my water tank was. It's not gray water, it's clean water. Clean drinking water. There we go. Regolith process. So now it's working. And you can look at the rates. So the primary resource that we're outputting is liquid hydrogen. Just wait till you see RP1. Is the crew doomed? They're not doomed. We reverted, to be clear, we reverted last live stream. So last live stream, we ended it with the ship still in orbit around Kerbin, and we didn't send the lander up. That's where we loaded the save from. All right, I've got radiators on this. I don't know if I put enough radiators on this, but we put some radiators on this. Let's see what happens. Waste heat's going up much slower now, which is good. And our liquid hydrogen is coming up. I think it just stopped coming up. Are we out of regolith? Did we process all the regolith? No. Why did liquid hydrogen stop increasing? Oh, because helium tank filled up. Okay. Okay. So what we're doing right now is we are just doing some ground-based tests with the hardware to make sure we fully understand how a refinery is going to work in space before we put it on a rocket and launch it to space. Now, some people might call that crazy. Other people would call that literally the bare minimum you would need to do before you launch a mission. The jury's out as far as that goes. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do like the bare minimum expected effort for a space program. I'm going to throw just a couple more radiators on this. I call it nice. A couple other things worth noting is we unlocked the liquid metal cooled reactor. The electric demand of this ISRU processor is wild, dude. It's wild. And so, and the electrolyzer, which I'm going to see if once we get this kind of stable, I'm going to see if throwing an electrolyzer on here also helps, because we're producing water. We're producing water. as well as hydrogen, helium, and all these other trace gases. And I'm thinking we can take that water and electrolyze it down into liquid oxygen and what was I gonna say? Hydrogen. So I guess we're gonna need a liquid oxygen tank. There is it. There it is. And then also we're gonna want to put dump valves on everything. And then I have a lot of deuterium tanks, which I think will come in handy. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm going to take a quick pause real quick, and then I will be right back and we'll continue this test. Okay, I'm back. I told you it wouldn't be too long. So let's take this tank section over here. This tank section actually looks pretty cool too. I like that. Utility electrolyzer. So I put an electrolyzer on the ship without really understanding how it worked. And I regret that decision now because this thing weighs 2 tons. So that's 2 tons of flight hardware that just doesn't need to be on that ship. Unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And if I could take it back, I would. However, I can't. So we're going to move on. The other part of this test is I'm seeing how many radiators I'm going to need to keep a fission reactor cool while it's operating. Because it will overheat over time. It's going to generate waste heat that needs to be radiated out. A lot more than everything else we've used will generate. So let's see how this goes. More testing. When am I sending it up? As soon as I verify all the things that are on this are going to work as intended. Which we're pretty much there. I just want to test 1 or 2 more things. Just to make sure I do in fact understand how it's supposed to work. Okay, so that's running. Now, okay, the electrolyzer is not what I want at all. It's actually the opposite of what I want. So I'm going to stop that. I'm going to stop using that because that's not what I want. The processor is actually the only thing I actually want here. Because what the electrolyzer is doing, one, it's using liquid water. And the game makes this distinction for some reason, but I'm outputting clean water, not liquid water. which is cool. Will it use the... Oh, it will use clean water. Okay, so that's good. Second problem is I need a refrigeration unit to utilize that water, which isn't necessarily, that's not out of the question. We could throw a refrigeration unit on this thing too. We have the fission reactor has the power, I think, to run all of the equipment. And each of these weighs a decent chunk, but it's not so bad. The three of these together weigh more than the Convertotron, but that's okay, I think. Let's try. Okay, I understand how the electrolyzer works. I understand how the processor works. I understand how the tanks need to be set up. That's the first step, and that's good. That's the big hurdle to get over. We're that far. Now I need to make sure I understand how the refrigeration unit works. What it should do is convert the hydrogen that I'm outputting into liquid hydrogen. And if I select it, and I jettison tank contents, and I select the thing, so air, ammonia, argon, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, deuterium, fluorine. Let's click through all the options again to find hydrogen. Nope. There we go. Liquid hydrogen, dihydrogen. Wait, is this just taking hydrogen? Where is this getting hydrogen from? Where is this getting hydrogen from? I'm confused. It's filling up with hydrogen. From where? From what? What's being consumed? Where did it get that hydrogen from? What the heck? Now it's making liquid hydrogen. And it's using 20.2 megawatts. This thing uses 20.2 megawatts. This thing uses 20.2 megawatts. Wait, no, that's total. Hold on. Stop. 20 megawatts. Stop. This is just eating up 20 megawatts. What happens if I turn this on? It comes up to 40 megawatts, 30 megawatts. But where is it getting the oxygen from? Is it getting it from the atmosphere? No, sorry. It's burning through water. It's just burning through water. I see the water. We also have clean water. Now, here's a question. And I just want to make sure I fully understand how these systems work so that I'm not confused in space. It's much better to be confused on the ground than it is to be confused in space, usually at least. Okay, I have no liquid water. Deactivate process. Start process. Am I using up my clean water? Do I have clean water? What is going on? Is the refinery running and I'm just not aware of it? Like, is this refrigeration unit? Oh, stop. Stop extracting from atmosphere. It is extracting from the atmosphere. Okay. Stop water electrolysis. It's getting hot in here. How much radiator effectiveness? Oh, it's coming down. Okay. We can in fact control our heat with these radiator panels. So if I just run this, waste heat's still going down. The radiators are taking care of it. That's good. And then these are all showing zeros, but if I time warp, will they show numbers? No. Is it because the tank's full? Hold on. Liquid nitrogen tank's full. Oh, we extracted so much nitrogen from the atmosphere. That's actually crazy. If that refrigeration unit just popped a bunch of nitrogen into the from the. I can't speak today to save my life. Holy cow. Yeah, it just took liquid nitrogen straight out of the air. Neat. That's cool. I like that. Okay, so waste heat is coming up now. Clocky clock is back. I'm also back. Although I may need to step away again. Sorry. It's late in the afternoon, but stuff is still coming up with work. I'll wait 1 second. It can wait 1 second. While we figure this out together. Look at all my resources going up and down. Ooh, it's getting warm. Ooh, it's getting warm. It's going light orange now. Temperature's going up. I want to see how hot this will get. Our helium tank has filled up. Can I eject contents? Wait, am I just out of electric charge? Oh, I let it overheat. Oops. Okay. All right. Revert flight. I think we have done enough practice. Have I made the Eve plane plant? No. I am not as big on planes as people are in general. I think planes are fine, but they're not like my general cup of tea. I like this kind of stuff. This kind of stuff's what excites me, actually. Okay, so problem. Temperature control is still a problem. So, solution. 1, more radiators. You're never wrong for putting more radiators on a thing. 2, different types of radiators. So there's these plates like this, and those are good. But can we do some thermal control systems? And also, how many of these do I need to effectively cool the reactor? Because I don't know. It looks like a base. I know. This is going to be an orbit. The only reason it looks like a base is because I put landing legs on it, and just so that it would be sitting on something. We're going to put this in orbit, and then we're going to dock a bunch of huge fuel tanks to it. Is the idea. That is the idea. In application, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But in theory, we process fuel on the surface, and then we send it up to orbit around Minmus. And then our ship can go dock with it and get more. Okay, so let's start regolith processing. Let's start water electrolysis. And let's let this thing get hot. Okay, so we got the refinery window up. We should be building up heat slowly. And I think as long as waste heat doesn't get too high, it should be fine. Okay, helium. Now, as the thermal control system gets hotter, it should also get more efficient, if that makes sense. So, I mean, basically the way it works, the way heat transfer works, the hotter your material is, the faster it'll radiate away heat, which seems to be the case where the waste heat is not building up as fast. And in fact, it's starting to go down. Helium builds up really quickly, which is interesting. Am I out of regolith? I'm out of regolith. Okay, so this works. And we have now, how much liquid hydrogen have we made? A decent amount of liquid hydrogen. Okay. All right, I'm satisfied with the testing phase. How's the Duna rover looking? I have not switched back to it in a while. I assume it's still there. It was there last time I checked. We'll probably drive it around once we get our Duna Voyager over there again. All right, in the meantime, let's load this guy back up. Now, all this can go away. We're just doing it with this. And this will let us carry 1800 ore up, or regolith, or whatever. But that's going to be the start. My rover hasn't needed to survive a global dust storm. Yeah, I'm not super... Look, this mod has already made things a lot more complicated and difficult. I don't need to add extra challenge. I am already a challenged individual. At least that's what my teacher said. Ooh, perfect. Okay. So fairing. We need to add a docking port, and we need to add some... We got the monoprop, which is good. We just need to add a... what's it called? RCS thrusters. There we go. I swear, it feels like my brain is operating at reduced capacity today. Maybe I'm just tired. I haven't slept great recently. Which may be part of the problem. Can I scale you down? Do you need to be so big? What if I scaled you down and had 2 of you? Like that. Is that allowed? Seems to be allowed. What is this for? So, a couple of things. One, we have a contract to extract 500 units of ore from Minmus, which we can do. I guess that's actually the one thing we haven't tested yet is, will this allow me to extract ore? So I should probably test that. Probably. I should probably test that. Okay, let's finish designing this and then we'll test that. You're reminding me of things I should probably do. What if I did three-way symmetry on the legs? I'm trying to fit all this in one place, which is ending up being tricky. If I offset the legs, no. What if I offset the legs more? Still no. What if I offset the legs just a little bit more? Just right. All right. Now I just need two-way symmetry on the drills. Does that intersect with anything? Yes. Oh. Ugh. What if I turn snap off? Does it look stupid? Yes. Ooh, again. What if I make these smaller? What if I make them half scale? Now will they fit? It's not that hard to land on, correct. Do I prefer top-mounted or side-mounted shuttles? I'm partial to side-mounted just because of the NASA space shuttle program. And I feel like top-mounting a shuttle takes away a little bit from the idea of it being single-stage. I know it's not technically single-stage. Like any shuttle, all shuttles are basically not single-stage. But it's definitely not single-stage if you put it on top of other stages, you know? Okay, what if we do this? Because I'm starting to run out of like ideas here on how to make this work with the RCS thrusters where I want them. But maybe we just put the RCSs up here more. And then we do the landing legs. And we can put the landing legs down here. And then let's just make sure that the drill will still get into the ground. It should. Yeah. Yeah, it should be fine. Let's also scale it up once. Okay. Start retracted. Okay. And that still fits. Okay. Before I finish this stack, I want to make sure that I can extract ore from the ground. Otherwise, this mission is a waste, which would suck. And the way we're going to test this, we're going to go new. Slap a pod down. Slap a couple batteries on it. Slap a fuel tank down. Slap 2 fuel tanks down. Why not? Why not slap 2 fuel tanks down? Let's get the bigger wheels. Because bigger wheels are more fun. Okay. Now, utility, universal drill. Huge. Let's make it smaller. It does not need to be that huge. Rotate it down. And then electrical. Couple of these bad boys. Like so. All right. Sponge wheels. I once did a single stage to orbit shuttle. I have a single stage to orbit shuttle that I built in Juno New Origins that I'm really happy with. It has 2 jet engines and then a rocket engine. Takes off horizontally, lands horizontally, so it's a fully reusable, 100% reusable space plane with a little cargo bay and everything, and it's fun. I liked building that. It was hard. Space planes are hard. Okay. So let's drive this over here for a second. And let's see how this drill works. Deploy drill. Toggle mining interface. So there's no ore. Interesting. Interesting. What's my biggest rocket yet? Like in this live stream, the rocket that launched the fuel, I think was the biggest one. Either that or the rocket we used for our attempted Eve mission was also really big. In like that I have built in Kerbal Space Program and Juno New Origins. That's kind of, I don't like that question. It's because they're sandbox games, right? Like I always find it funny when people, and I get comments on my YouTube videos, on a couple of my YouTube videos. Even to this day, I still get some of these comments where they're like, "Oh, that ain't nothing. I built a plane in this sandbox game that goes to Mach 15," and it's like, okay, bud, sure, but it's a sandbox game. It literally doesn't matter. Like I could easily build a plane that goes to Mach 64. It doesn't matter. No. I'm not. This isn't you. This is just like people in general are just like, oh man, like you, that's like nothing, blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, shut. It's a sandbox game, you dummy. Like, there's literally no restriction, and the only reason I haven't built a plane that goes Mach 64 is why would I do that? Like, I have no reason to want to do that. That's crazy. Um, and I still get these comments, and they're just the funniest, like dumbest comments. They're like, "Oh, you're not as good. I built a rocket that's bigger." It's like no one cares that you built a rocket that's bigger. That's not like an achievement, or at least it's not an achievement to my knowledge. At least maybe it is an achievement in one of these games. Yeah, why not? Yeah, just go ahead and blow up, guy. That's fine. Just go ahead and explode yourself. That's great. I think the universal drill will work, so we're gonna send it. Yeah, if I teleport a Kerbal into the next dimension from because he stood on a ladder. Ah, yes, the classic blunder. Everyone's done that at least once, right? Okay. So let's get this lander up. Um, we're gonna do a pretty basic bottom stage for these rockets. Nothing fancy. Just getting a min-miss. These tanks are empty. That's good. I think I need the bigger fuel tank, though. $16.52. Yeah, that should be fine. That's fine. Okay, let's launch it. Like I watched the sun got really, really small and far away really fast. Simple is key. Simple is key for this. And the launch vehicle does not need to be anything special. It gets discarded, so who cares? If I'm smart, I will put that upper stage on a collision course with Minmus. But I'm not smart, so I probably won't do that. If I remember, really, that's what it comes down to. If I remember, I'm going to put the upper stage on a collision course with Minmus. Okay. Prograde. Too early. Stability assist. Wait for it. Prograde. Okay. On a very standard trajectory here, nothing crazy. Nothing new. Just go into orbit. And we're up. I'm going to activate 2 of these solar panels. Did I find auto strut yet? No, because I just haven't needed it. For any of my missions or payloads. No, off RCS. Oh, shoot. You know what? No. Go back. I just realized there's no way this is going to work. I was hoping to have more Delta V in my upper stage. I didn't have nearly enough. Because this thing has to take off fully loaded with ore and regolith, right? So if I were to fill this up with regolith, it gives me 1841. And I don't want to have to do a bunch of refueling. So we're going to go back real quick. Actually, let's do this. Coupling. How many liquid boosters should we put on this? 4? 4 is probably a good number. engines. What's cheap? What's like cheap? I think the Kodiak's actually cheap. As far as the 1.25 meter engines go. Kodiaks are actually very cheap. Okay. We got that. We'll put fuel. Yep. Some struts. Unfortunately, I don't think auto strut works for this application right here. If auto strut automatically strutted up my boosters, that'd be pretty sick. I'd be more interested. Like, immediately more interested. Okay. Launch. It does? What? Crazy. You can rotate. Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting that WASD, when you're holding apart, or when you're like dragging apart, WASD and Q and E will rotate. I keep forgetting that. I do know that. I just keep like not doing it anyway. Every part can be auto-strutted. Interesting. Okay. SAS. Oopsies, boosters crashed. It doesn't look like it was a lot, but I think those liquid boosters gave me just the extra kick I needed. We are a little flat, though. Our trajectory is a little flat. I want to hold this for a second and raise it up. Okay. That's probably fine. Yeah, it's fine now. Maybe not. Maybe it's still too flat. Let's hold it a little longer. Okay. Now it's probably fine. Probably. It's going up. Yep, it's going up. Will I ever upgrade the shuttle to a bigger one? Probably soon. I think I'm just missing one more tech node for what I want for it. Because I like using the shuttle as a crew transfer vehicle. You know, to get my Kerbals up and down from Kerbin. I like it more for that than for anything else. Like, I don't like the idea of using shuttles for satellite payload deployments. I think that's just kind of silly and a waste. Because it takes a shuttle flight in Kerbal Space Program takes a long time. It takes a lot of effort to make it happen. Purely from a having to be a little bit more attentive to the launch, and then the recovery process is a lot more involved, right? You actually have to fly it and land it, and it's more intense, right? All around more intense. People do what? Get their Kerbals up and down from orbit? I mean, yeah. Well, that's one of the things the space shuttle did do was it deployed a couple of satellites from its cargo bay. That's not primarily what it did. The space shuttle was kind of a I don't have a rate. God damn it! What did I forget? I know what I forgot. I forgot something. Anyway, yeah, so shuttles to me are just for flying Kerbals. Yeah, for flying up to and down, up and down from the space station. That's what I think they should just be used for, and really not much else. Let's put an antenna there, and slap a high gain on this. Why not? Oh wait, I can do boop. Nope. Boop 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 boop. Oh, for building stations, huge waste. No, why would you do that? Just send it up there. Just send the thing up there. I mean, look, I'm not going to tell you to have fun. If you like using them to build space stations, then do that. Do what you want to do. Um, Personally, that's not. I've never used a shuttle to build a space station, but I also have not used shuttles that many times. So I guess maybe if I use them more, then I would try to do that. Maybe that'd be a fun project in the future. Is use a shuttle to build a space station. I don't know. I like them primarily for crew transfer. And I think that's where they shine. Because you can put more Kerbals or Droods if you're playing Juno New Origins, but you can put more astronauts on them. Okay. This launch is looking a little better overall. Much better. All right, we're pretty cash money at this point. Okay. I already have the Mark II cockpits. I just haven't done anything with them yet. I also have the Mark III cockpits and everything. So I'm ready to do, like, I have everything except the Mark II and the Mark III crew compartments. I know I don't have the Mark II. I might not have the Mark III yet. And that's like the only thing I'm missing per se. Oh, it's just slow. I was like, does this wheel not have RCS? It has RCS. It's just slow. It's very slow. Okay. Burn into Minmus. And then our mining ship will be ready to go. We've got our drills. We've got our lander legs. We got our power. We got our comms. We got a battery. We got the storage tanks for the stuff we're mining. Theoretically, that's everything I need. But I'm sure I'm missing something. I also haven't scanned Minmus for ore yet, which may have been a mistake. I might need to do that. Yeah, I should probably do the Mark II cockpits at some point. Or a Mark II shuttle. Probably. I freely admit I'm a little behind the ball on that. I just haven't done it. There's always been some other thing that's like, man, like I kind of want to do this or focus on this. Same for that Eve plane that Green Juno keeps wanting me to make. Like, yes, I know. I want to make it too, but like there are other things that I want to pursue as well. Let's use RCS to spin the rocket around. I don't want to guzzle up my monopropellant. I have plenty, but I do want to be a little efficient with it. Can I get a collision? Almost. I can almost get a collision. Am I too low? I keep forgetting I can physics time warp in space. There we go. There we go. Ooh. We're close. Let's thrust limiter this so that I don't screw it up. That's the wrong button. There we go. Thrust limiter. I mean, shutting down the engine is, in a sense, a thrust limiter. Like, it's limited. Is that a collision? Yes. Let's hit it smack dab in the middle of the planet. Now I'm going to stage. Let's go radial out. Okay, let's go anti-normal. Flip around again. I guess actually prograde would be the way to go. Because I want to be closer to the equatorial. It does not need to be a perfect equatorial, but a little equatorial would go a long ways. Let's also thrust limit the shit out of that. Okay, that's far enough. Retrograde now. Where's my ship? Where's my ship? There it is. There's the ship right there. Whee! Here it comes. Excuse me. Now, hopefully I've got satellite coverage as I pass behind. I think I will. Down it, up it goes, down it goes. Up it goes, down it goes. Yep, what goes up must in fact come down. It's coming down hard and fast, too. Look at that thing. It's moving. Will I get science for this? I better. It's gonna touch. It's gonna touch the butt. It touched the butt. Oh, I didn't get science for it. Did I need to be controlling it when that happened? Or at least, like, viewing it? Maybe? Alright, good news. I've got comms on the dark side of the planet, or Minmus. Let's undo the thrust limiter. There we go. Probably want to land on the light side. There are no lunar impactor contracts. You can get seismic. There kind of is. Not in the same way that, like Juno New Origins has an impactor probe that you have to land. Sort of, right? It's different, but KSB has the seismic data, which requires you to have a... Oop, I hit my mic, sorry. It requires you to crash a thing into actually all 3 planets, or all 3 moons. All right, spacecraft is flipping around. We're 4,000 meters up. I'm going to use some RCS fuel here. Because I just want to get turned around. Let's go ahead and deploy the gear. And I decelerated real aggressive, so we're going to land like right on this cliff. Maybe not right on this cliff, but pretty close to this cliff. May need to use RCS on the descent to control the lander. We'll see. We'll see what I end up needing and not needing. Okay, still so far so good. Yep, should be nice and kind of standard from this point down. Watch out for the mountains. I was watching for the mountains. I'm trying to land, specifically landing on a mountain. Two. Touchdown. That little heavy, but that'll buff. That'll be fine. All right, let's deploy the drill. And let's activate the drill. How's my electric charge doing? It's fine. Waste heat also looks fine. Let's look at the mining interface. Ore, very little. Borate, a little. But I don't have any spare room. I've got plenty of spare room for ore. Substrate, a little bit of substrate. Some minerals. Heavy water, nitrates, ore, rare metals. Clean water. Xenon gas. Alumina. Is there no regolith? Yeah, this is alphabetically ordered. So there's ore, which I'm getting very little of. But I am getting. Well, this is going to take a bit. 55 milligrams. Very, very, very slow. Okay. Wait for this drill to finish extending. Activate drill. All right. Let's do some light time warping. Maybe some heavy time warping. Okay. Are they not drilling anymore? Oh, they're not. Hold on. Okay, now they're drilling. But now they're not drilling because they're out of charge. Wait. Hold on. There we go. Okay. I'm somewhat cheating the system. Okay, I'm explicitly cheating the system to keep them drilling. Okay. The spot that I am in is not good for ore. It's just not. So let's go ahead and retract these drills. There is so little ore up here that it's not worth it. Let's go north. Let's see if this little valley up here, this little flat range is better. Uh-oh. That's glitched. And we go up. And we'll come down. I have 0.01 ore on board, so where I was mining was not effective. I've got a leak. Yeah, I'm leaking. I'm not leaking. Nothing's leaking. It's just a visual glitch. Okay. Now we descend. Thousand meters, 75 meters per second. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Start slowing down. $200 meters up. Man, those are really determined to keep making that visual glitch, though, huh? It's still going, even after time warping. Okay. Let's deploy the drill here and see if it's better. There is no ore down here. That's cool. There's some metallic ore, which is interesting. There's some monazite, which I think is for thorium. There's some gypsum and some dirt. There's no ore. Okay. We're gonna leave this guy here. There's nothing wrong with main bus be undervolt. Oh no, the cryogenic stirs and the heating elements. Did you know that Teflon is flammable if you put it in a 100% oxygen environment? NASA didn't until that one mission where they found out. It went, whoops. Land a Class A asteroid on Kerbin. Nice. None of those contracts spark joy. We're gonna launch a real quick satellite though. I don't have anything surveying Minmus to tell me where the ore is. So I'm going to do that real quick. As opposed to like guess and check with the lander until I run out of fuel or give up. Let's throw up a satellite and actually just find out where the ore is. And then land where the ore is. Some people tell me that's the smarter way to do things. I guess here's the other thing we need to figure out. So I used this universal drill. And I thought that was the correct drill. But apparently it wasn't. Let's buy the Drill-O-Matic Junior and see if it has some sort of something that it does. No idea. How do I get regolith? You know what? Hold on. KSP FTL mod. Nope, wrong FTL mod. That's not the mod I want. Nice, and Google Chrome just decided to freeze. Okay, well, while Google Chrome thinks about its life, there we go. FTL. Hold on. Is there a way... Clocky Clock, you know this game better than I do. Is there a way... No, I did not crash. We're still good. We're still up. Sorry, I was trying to figure something out. Is there a way to see what mods I have downloaded? Because that would honestly be faster than what I'm trying to do. Let's open my SAT launcher. We can load Moonsat 2 up. It's a great question. Actually, I'm not sure. So here's the thing. A little bit about my Kerbal Space Program experience. I did download some mods and on this computer, and then I stopped playing Kerbal Space Program for a long time. And I'm really only just recently getting back into it. And now I can't remember what I have installed. And I also don't remember what I use. I don't remember if I use like Space Dog. What's the mod installer called? These are pretty old mods, yeah. I don't even know if they're up to date, man. This is the game as I was playing it like 2 years ago, and I have not changed it since. Here, we're gonna scrap this real quick. And we're gonna use this guy. This is gonna be our guy. We're gonna have a slightly better thing here. Slightly better satellite. Electrical. I'm kind of partial to how these look. Especially if you get them real close and snug. Like that. Do I have the structural fuselage? But I can't make that shorter, can I? There we go. That makes it shorter. Science. That looks kind of silly, doesn't it? Man, okay. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. We're not using that. We're going to use the Probodyne HECS. Don't mind me while I try to figure out what I want to do with this rocket. Yeah, we'll use the Oscar B again. Yeah, we'll use the Spark again. Game data folder and look. Is that in users app data local low? Or is that somewhere else? Do you know where the game data folder usually is? I know how to find this out, but what would you rather me do? Try and find this out or continue to make progress in live stream and have you find this out for me? Where's that folder? Normally solved or normally saved for Windows. Do you know? Do you remember? Okay, so it'll be in the same folder where all my Steam game data is saved. I think I remember where that is. Pretty sure I remember where that is. There's the high gain. There we go. Okay. This is our spaceship. Coupling. I don't even think I need coupling. I think I can just launch it. Now you might think this is pretty basic, and you'd be correct. It is very basic. Okay. Actually, I haven't used this min serve sat 1 launch. I'ma tell you. Please tell me. Please tell me. Like, normally I'm not one to ask people for help for these things because I know how to navigate a file structure on a computer well enough that I can usually just figure it out, or I can Google it. However, I'm trying to do something and I don't want to detract from the thing I'm doing by, like, 10-minute interlude of me digging around in my computer's files while everyone sits there and listens to me talk to myself. Oh, you're right. I can just do it from Steam. 100% correct. Yes, that's faster. Okay, we will do that after we get this survey satellite up. We will do that. I lost control. Whoopsies, lost control of it again. Anyway, the reason I want to do this is, one, I said I would post the mods I'm using, so I'm going to do that. Two, I want to figure out which specific FTL mod I'm using so that I can look up the mod and then figure out, like, read up on it. Because I'm sure there's some tutorials or, like, explanations of how the mechanics work either on the forum or the website that the mod's posted to. Like, if I'm a bet man, and I am, that's where I would go for that kind of information. Alright, we are accelerating very, very, very fast. And I'm scared to try and roll any more than I am. Because we are going so freaking fast. Alright, we're just going to stay prograde. Oh, the auto gyro doesn't work? Oh, well. Juno New Origins is pretty demanding when it comes to building helicopters because it doesn't let you fake any of it. You've got to actually, like, know what you're doing. Turns out helicopters are inherently complicated and difficult to design. That's why it took us a lot longer to come up with the helicopter than it did the airplane. Okay. I'm confident now that I won't lose control of the craft, so I'm going to time accelerate. Okay, let's coast up to orbit. Hey, there's the ship, the big ship. It's passing below us right now. You don't technically need a swash plate anymore in Juno to build a helicopter. Because you can just you can do a pair of hinge rotators 90 degrees angled apart from each other. And then you can do, and that's your like yoke controls, and then your blade pitch, the propeller part like inherently has a blade pitch setting you can adjust. Okay. Hey, there's a Class C asteroid coming through the Juno system right now. What a quinky dink. Should we manually go for this launch? I think we should. I forgot to deploy the solar panels before I time warp. Ow! Do you know how much shorter this whole series would be if we just cut out all the times I launched something to orbit and then forgot to deploy the solar panels and then had to redeploy it? Maybe 3 or 4 hours shorter. A not insignificant amount of time has been wasted by me just in failing to launch things. God damn it. But you don't use propeller in the custom propeller. Are you just using wing parts and then like a hinge joint or a hinge that's no friction? Let's throw a thrust limiter and some fins on this thing and stop like wasting time here. Gotcha. Okay. And then are you just dropping it and letting the air resistance spin the wings to create lift force? Now I like flying my launches. At least for now. I'm not gonna like midstream stop, turn the game off, download a mod, troubleshoot a mod, start the game, go back to streaming. Maybe like tomorrow or another day. If I just designed the rocket to not suck as hard, then it would also work better. Counterpoint. Okay, this is better. This is more acceptable. All right, we're getting up to orbit just fine this time. All right, carrier stage. Let's deploy the solar panels now. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Let's extend the antenna. Good. All right, we're in orbit. Where's Minmus? Where is it? There it is. Okay. Let's bring this around. Go prograde. Throttle all the way up. All right, apoapsis is coming out now. Too far. Retrograde. We went too far. Okay. Take a normal burn. It's probably good enough. I think radial out. I want to get more polar. Let's radial in. Nope, radial out. Keep swinging down. Keep flipping. Keep flipping. Okay, good enough. No, anti-normal. I need to go anti-normal. Okay. So we're going for nice high orbit here. Nice and high and slow. Not that high. More like that high. Is that a good enough polar orbit? Can I deploy the scanner? Is the survey scanner going to work for me? Perform orbital survey. 25 and 300 kilometers. Stable polar orbit, 25 to 300. Okay, so we're outside. Now we're inside. Oh, we have the opportunity to get this really precise. Hold on, let's put a thrust limiter on this. I like really circular orbits. It's something that pleases me. But they're tricky to get. They're slippery. So I'm only off by a couple 100 meters. We can get it more circular. More circular. Oh, 120 meters. Okay, that's good enough. More circular. That's very, very circular. Not enough electric charge. Oh, hold on. Toggle overlay. Toggle overlay. Okay, hold on. Regolith, 2.81% average. So there is regolith. Very little ore. But I don't have enough electric charge. God damn it. That's right. What kind of settings do you need to customize in MechJeb to make it work? Excuse me while I prepare to forever sleep over here. Supposed to be a simple mission. Oh, I see. What sliders does the mod give you? What kind of controls do you have over it? Can you are they like apoapsis, periapsis, inclination, eccentricity, or is it like um PID controls where you're actually tweaking the settings for the autopilot? Yep. Yep, to which one? I gave you two options. I gave you two options. I gave you a binomial question. Or Boolean question, not binomial. I gave you a Boolean question and you said yes. That was a multiple choice. Going too low. Let's see if I can salvage this. Ah, damn it. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I understand. Ascent arc, gravity turn. I understand. A gravity turn is just a type of ascent arc. Oh man, why is this rocket all of a sudden? I'm flying it badly. I'm in a funk today, man. I am not out on my A game right now. Keep goofing this up. I don't want to goof it up no more. I want to do good. This is as advanced as you can get for newbie. I know. All right, we're just going to let it sit here for a little bit. Okay. Stable. Go prograde. Good enough. There we go. Okay. Should be orbit. Not quite. Now it's orbit. All right, let's get the vehicle ship shape. Space flight ready. Okay. Prograde. Get rid of the clutter. Throttle up all the way. I'm a little early, but it should be fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Fly out. Okay, now we are going the opposite direction, but it shouldn't matter. Let's lock anti-normal. Should be our direction of choice for this. There it is. Let's go retrograde. Everything else will be retrograde. Let's aim for a slightly higher orbit this go around. And I'm not going to try polishing the cannonball nearly as much. Just give me something functional. Okay, but maybe a little bit more polished than that. Let's also ditch the booster. And deploy the scanner. Okay. All right. Now it should work. It's getting late for me. Tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming pretty much every day this week. Next week, not as much. All right. There we go. Hey, we got 25 science data out of that too. That's great. That's nice. Let's see. Let's overlay resource. That's dirt, exotic minerals, gypsum, monazite, regolith, silicates, butamine, substrate, uraninite, ore. So that's ore. Cutoff 20%, 30%, 40%, 60%, 70%, 90%, 100%. Okay, there's nothing at 100%, but 90%, that at least shows me the concentrations I'm looking for. Oh, sorry. Just blew past my target. Minsurf, Sat, Sun, Moho, Eve, Gilly, Kerbin, Moon, Minmus. There it is. All right. This guy, ISRU. Wait, is there nothing at 90? Toggle overlay. There we go. This is a big ore deposit right there. Okay. What about regolith? Ah, there. I just blew past it again. LM. It is alphabetical, which helps. Oh, wow. Yeah, I just landed in an absolutely zero regolith area. That's fun. Okay, so regolith is here. Can I find some overlap? No, there's regolith up there, too. There's regolith up here. So why am I not getting any regolith from my drill? Am I using the wrong type of drill? That would be stupid if that were the case. It would be really stupid. Can I do a gradient? Heat map green. Heat map blue. I'm trying to find where the ore is. It's all the way up here. Okay. Switch to. Hey! You already said that. You said that earlier. You said that like the very beginning of the stream that you got that plane to work. Congratulations again. Will the overlay stay on? Yes. Follow-up question. Can I view the overlay from this? I don't know. Let's retract the drills. I know where to go now. I need to land right over here. So I need to go northeast-ish. We'll start by going east. Okay, so more north. How about purely north? Actually, I need to go prograde. I forgot about planetary rotation. Oh, nice. Maybe I'll check it out later. I make no promises. There's a good chance I'll forget. I'm just going to say that. But maybe I'll check it out later. Let's hide these and let's hide these. Just declutter. Let's time warp a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to need to burn again. There we go. Retrograde. I need to land up here where it's darker. Okay. All right. The mining vehicle is spinning, but it should be okay. It should be fine. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. I am going fast. I acknowledge that. But I'm confident in my ability to brake. We're going to go just a little farther, and then we're going to brake hard. Okay. Brake. Let's slow down significantly. Throttle down, throttle down, throttle down. Boom. See? See how quickly I broke? I braked? My braking abilities? Yeah, maybe. Depends on how late I go. Eventually I'm gonna do another live stream where I test other people's crafts in Juno New Origins. I do that every once in a while, where I like showcase other people's builds. If you put it in the Discord in the crafts channel, like share the link there in the crafts channel, that is a surefire way for me to see it. I need to change my frame of reference before I crash. Okay. Touchdown. All right. Let's not tip over. Let's start by not tipping over. Let's deploy the drills. Turn SAS off. Let the craft settle. All right. Activate the drill. Toggle mining interface. How much ore is there? 1.3. Here we go. Activate this drill. Now my ore is going up, guys. My ore is going up. Woo! My electric charge went down for some reason, even though I should have plenty of solar panels. Do I need to activate more? Is the problem just that I don't have enough juice? Do I need to give it more juice? I got lots of juice to give it. Okay. Are you gonna hold still? Are you gonna behave for me? There we go. There we go. There we go. Electric charge is staying. Ore is going up. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's going up. It's just going up slow. This is max time warp. These drills are super inefficient. Oh my goodness. We're going to complete this contract. 500. Oh, we got to wait. Oh, so long, map. Is that any less epilepsy inducing? I suppose that's slightly less epilepsy inducing. 100. This is supposed to be a relatively rich ore vein too, which is the crazy part. I guess there's just not that much ore on Minmus. $180. Okay, yeah, that's starting to bother me. We're abusing time warp a lot here. $200. We're about halfway there. A year and 150 days into this. Those poor Kerbals have been sitting in orbit for a long time too, which is the funny part. All right, this mining lander is not going to be... It's not going to do it. It's not going to do it, boss. We're going to need something a little better. I think I'm going to play around with this off stream and see if I can't find a better design. I'm also going to go look at my... Well, I guess while we're just sitting here, time warping. Actually, I didn't even... Wait, hold on. Okay, 1,000 times time acceleration was giving me the same as 100,000 times. So I was literally wasting days when I didn't need to. That's fun. All right, well, while that's going... browse local files. Let's see. Let's go look at our mods, shall we? Game data. Squad expansion. I think it's KIS. No, that's Kerbal Inventory System. Disregard. Okay, are we getting close? We're at 411. B9 part switch, community category kit, community tech tree. Oh, it's KSP Interstellar. That's what it's called. KSP Interstellar mod. That's the mod. Where is... So here's the space dock page for it. Nope, that page doesn't exist anymore. I'm looking for some like documentation. Are we done yet? Why aren't we harvesting anymore? Why did you stop harvesting, game? There we go. Keep harvesting now. Hmm. Hmm. Support forums page, maybe? Oh, KSPIE for dummies. That's probably what I want. No, 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 no. No, no, no. That's not what I'm looking for. Why did we stop harvesting again? I didn't tell you to stop. Activate drill. Activate drill. Acquire 500 units of fresh ore from Miss. If this, I swear to God, if this doesn't work. Acquire 500 units of fresh ore from Mimis. Done. Done. Accomplished. Or 253. That's regolith. Or 253. I did it. I did the task. Oh, game. Oh, game. Is there a cheat to just have you, like, force the game to give me the contract? Because it just doesn't want to give me the contract. Hold on. We're going to go to cheats real quick. I, again, don't normally want to do this. But I'm completing that contract. Because the game's bugged. There we go. Game bugged. Complete the contract. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to actually end the stream a little early tonight just because the thing I wanted to do turns out is far more complicated than originally anticipated. And it's going to take some time and some effort on my part to actually figure out how to get this to work. Specifically, how to get these to mine regolith like I want them to. Right? So if I deploy the drill, Wait for it to deploy all the way. And then I toggle the mining interface. It shows me rare metals, but it doesn't show me regolith. Now, this may just be a glitch. Where actually, if I were on regolith, it would give me regolith, but since it doesn't want to show me the regolith, I'm going to assume that it doesn't exist. In the meantime, so we mined all that ore, and we spent 1 year and 389 days doing it. But ironically enough, I'm actually going to jettison all that ore, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for regolith. Which tank has the ore? There it is. And I've burned more fuel than I originally had intended to get to this ore and complete this contract. So we're going to find a regolith vein on Minmus, and we're going to go from there. In the meantime, in the next live stream, we'll build our orbital refinery and put it in orbit of Minmus. Nice equatorial orbit, something easy to get to. And start working on progressing from there. I think that's the plan. We will, from there, here's like the overall sequence of events, right? So we put the orbital refinery around Minmus. We get it up and running. We get some large orbital tanks to hold all of the liquid hydrogen we're going to be putting up here, and it'll be great. It'll be wonderful. From there, we are going to start moving our ship from low Kerbal orbit up to Minmus orbit. And once we get it captured in Minmus orbit, we'll dock it with the refueling station, refuel it, maybe do some science up here in Minmus, so it's not like, a waste of a trip, right? Get a little bit of the science from here, and then we'll fly to Duna. That's the plan. And we'll go from there as far as how we want to tackle future missions. So thank you guys for watching. This was a little bit lower key, a little bit less eventful. But I'm just going to go ahead and end the stream here. And we're going to do some reading. We're going to figure out how to actually use this mod, because we are out of the realm of like base game KSP that I'm familiar with, and we are firmly in the realm of very complicated KSP Interstellar. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys all in the next live stream. Take care, everyone.